Here it is, back once again, one of the best times of the year in Destiny Child. Yes, we have Lisa's Extra Lessons making their return. Hey everyone, GuardianE here, and welcome to another Destiny Child video, where we'll be covering this upcoming treasure trove of goodies that will arrive on the 18th after maintenance. Now before we hop in, I'll just mention that if you do enjoy our videos and would like to support the channel, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, or placing a comment down below, letting us know the types of content that you'd like to see from us in the future. So this is essentially a perfect time to start playing the game as a new player, as you'll be provided with 5 native 5 stars, fully awakened to 6 star, fully max leveled, and max skilled. And to put that in perspective, that is an enormous boost to any new account, because fully maxing a native 5 star requires getting 7 copies of said unit and spending a boatload of resources in maxing their levels and skills. And there's a bunch of other prizes that you'll be getting as well, a lot of other goodies that really I shouldn't be ignoring, but those are like the main prizes here that we're talking about and focusing on. And the way the lessons themselves are structured, it's similar to previous years. I'll link last year's video over to the side if you want to see that in more detail. I'm not going to go over it again, but basically, as soon as you start Lisa's Extra Lessons, it auto-activates as soon as you log in. The clock starts ticking, and you have a certain number of days to complete them. I think it's around 2 weeks or so. And that is more than enough time to do so. Once that clock is ticking, the lessons unlock one day at a time, each day over the course of a week, or 7 days. And each day will net you a prize. And these are super simple missions, which is why I'm not going to really be covering them. They're designed for brand new players to complete in a few minutes. Getting the rewards is basically guaranteed as long as you put in a tiny bit of effort by logging in each day and doing a simple quest. And then don't forget to actually redeem the prizes before the Extra Lessons disappears. That's basically it. So I just wanted to cover what my personal recommendations are for each day's reward. And these are just my opinions based on my own thoughts on versatility and utility and performance. Bear in mind that if you're missing any units, those should likely be the priority. You can always get additional merge copies of a unit through House of Reincarnation, for example, even if that can be a little bit expensive. Some of the top picks, if you only have them at +0, they might be worth grabbing just because they're so good and can help you jumpstart your account. But otherwise, prioritizing what will help you complete your box is really kind of essentially, I think, the rule of thumb here. So we'll go through each day, but the most important days are the native 5-star days. So that's day 1, day 4, and day 7. And bear in mind that you don't have to redeem on that day you complete the quest. You can sit and you can think about your choices basically up until the expiration day of Lisa's Extra Lessons for you. Remember, the clock starts ticking for you and your account as soon as you log in. So it's actually going to be potentially different with different players. If people start their account like a week after Lisa's Extra Lessons as an event starts, they're actually going to have a different countdown than you starting up Lisa's Extra Lessons on the first day it's available. So just bear that in mind. It's different, potentially different for every player. But you do, again, have more than enough time. I can't remember exactly how many weeks, but there's a huge grace period after the 7 days to actually complete them and to actually redeem the prizes. So let's get into these one day at a time. So as mentioned, day 1 starts us off with a selection of native 5 stars and an absolutely amazing array of choices here. You can choose 2 of them, and even though you can choose 2 of them, it's still a tough choice, I think, for new players. So I think the practical way to break this up is to talk about attackers first and then utility units. So as far as attackers are concerned, the high priority attackers are going to be Water Moftet, Flower of Justice Moftet. I can't even believe that they're giving her away for free. Arguably the best water attacker in the game, 6-hit slide on ignition, she's just phenomenal. Courtesan Bathory is an incredible fire attacker. Kubaba is a very strong dark attacker. You've got Bridal Hilder is also an incredible light attacker. I think those are kind of the standouts, at least from my perspective. Dreamer Saturn is also way up there as a potential option for an attacker. But all of those are either best in class or best in color, or just extremely potent and powerful within the ranks of that color. So you really can't go wrong if you're looking for an attacker, and just because they're kind of pigeonholed into a particular color, that doesn't mean you can't use them for cross-color content, because all of them are going to hit very hard. From a utility perspective, you've got Dana and Mott, as well as Syrinx. Now all 3 of these have been in the game since day 1. Dana and Mott are still incredible units to have for utility. You can slap them in most teams for survivability, just to auto and carry you through certain content, and they can pretty much serve that purpose. In a lot of team compositions, they're not ideal anymore. Dana is a lot of the time, because you'd be hard-pressed to find a better defender in a standard 5-person team. But Mott in particular, there are other healers that can supplant her, that can also provide buffs as well as heals and things like that. But that's not to say that Mott isn't just very, very useful to have in her own right. So if I had to rank and Syrinx provides invulnerability or damage nullification essentially in lieu of actually putting up like a shield, for example. So she fulfills that niche, which was pretty potent early in the PvP days, and so she still is one of the best uses for that specific purpose of damage nullification. If I had to rank the utility units, I would say that Dana is probably the best choice, Mott second, and then Syrinx is kind of lower priority-wise. You don't really need her, but if you don't have her, she might be an option to select here. So each of the ones that I actually talked about, I would recommend for the specific purpose if you're missing a unit to fulfill that role. If I had to just blanketly state which ones are my prime favorite picks from this day, it would be Water Moftet, Courtesan Bathory, Dana, and then maybe Mott as well. I don't think you can really go wrong with those picks. Now on day 2, you can pick a native 4-star that is going to come as a 6-star for you, so fully evolved and maxed and everything else. And then of this selection, I would say Elysian is easily the best choice. For the second pick, honestly, I don't think it matters that much. Maybe Bast, but at the end of the day, I would just pick whoever you don't have currently at 6-star and that you like the design of. But that said, I would prioritize Elysian of this batch. For day 3 or the third period, I think Frisia is definitely the best choice here. She can replace Jupiter in a pinch in certain team compositions, so she's just useful to have in that capacity. I think Maya is also a decent choice. But again, I think it's not a huge deal who you pick here, but I would prioritize Frisia, and then whoever you like as far as design-wise, or a unit that you're missing, or a specific role that you're missing, like a defender versus a supporter versus a healer, etc. Day 4 or 4th period gives us another selection of native 5-stars, and you can select 2 of these. Not the world-class selection of day 1, but still very, very nice options here. Bathory in particular, Lady Bathory, I think is probably the one that I would recommend the most to every player. Near T, I have seen her in more team compositions recently as of late. Seedhay has fallen off a bit. She's still a decent choice, but she's not the powerhouse that she used to be. She used to essentially let you bring in a fire attacker team into any world boss scenario and still do decent damage. At this point, it's not really the most practical, although it can still be used for green world bosses, for example. Isolde and Eve aren't bad as debuffers either, so those are definitely candidates. So essentially, I would prioritize Bathory if you do not have her at +6, and then select one of the others that I mentioned that kind of fulfills whatever niche that you're looking to fulfill. Day 5 or 5th period, again, it's a native 4-star, and you can pick 2 of them of this very limited selection. I don't think it really matters too much who you select here. Calchas is the most recent addition to the batch, so it's probably most likely that people don't have him at 5-star or 6-star maxed. But again, I would just prioritize who you don't have. Day 6, similar to Day 5, native 4-star, choose 1 out of the 5, however. Agamemnon is probably the unit that most people aren't going to have fully leveled because he was a more recent addition. I think Unknown or Ishtar are probably not too bad picks either, but again, this isn't really going to make or break your account. I would just stick with whoever you like design-wise or you're missing. Now, Day 7 is going to be another one of those racking your brain kind of days because there's a great selection of units here, native 5-stars, and you can only pick one of them. So of this batch, standouts are Newbie Mona, we've got Hard Worker Neptune, and we've got Thisbe. Those 3 are all incredible units. Newbie Mona basically fits on any team for any game mode, and she's incredible. She's just an amazing utility unit, will boost speed, boost damage, everything you need. Neptune similarly provides amazing damage buffs, speed boosts, as well as some healing. She's a staple on a lot of raid boss teams for Ragna breaks. Even in situations where she's not optimal, she's usually a pretty fantastic addition anyway. And then Thisbe offers speed boosts as well as debuff nullification, which is very, very valuable. So again, all 3 of these are going to be high priority utility units. If you don't have any of them, I would probably put Mona, Newbie Mona, and Neptune at the highest of the priority list here. Other nice choices if you already have those three, or you already have those three maxed. Christmas Lita, Failnaught, and School Swimsuit Davi are all pretty decent choices from the rest of the selection. But again, I would prioritize the other three if you don't have them already. And just to round things out, at the very end of the Lisa's Extra Lessons, you'll get a grade, quote unquote. And depending on that grade, you'll be able to select a certain number of prizes at the very, very end of the quote unquote semester or lessons, right? So going along with that theme. So there's really no excuse to not get an A. As long as you've done all of each of the days, which you should do all of the days because they're super simple and really, really brain dead easy to do, you will get a grading of an A, which means you can select 4 grading rewards. And you can see the rewards listed right here. You'll get yourself a nifty 5-star summon ticket for each of the elements available. So that means you can basically get 4 of the 5, you just have to pick one that you're not going to grab. And any one of these are fine, or all of them are fine to grab. I mean, whatever you're kind of missing as far as an element is concerned, as far as your barracks or your box is concerned, just pick whatever you think would best supplant that. Or if you're going or targeting a specific unit out there, it might be worth picking up that relevant color/element here for a 5-star ticket to use in the future. So that is my breakdown of the 2021 Lisa's Extra Lessons. Again, this only comes around once a year, sometimes twice a year, and it's an amazing, amazing event for new players as well as veterans alike. So enjoy, have fun. Let me know in the comments below who you end up picking for each of the days. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Destiny Child content. We thank you all so much for watching, and for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really do appreciate it. Certainly hoping you're all staying safe, healthy, secure, and united out there, and wishing the very, very best for you, your family, and your friends. And until next time, let's keep on slacking.